Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Heather Lim, and thank you to Kathy Kumagai and Alan Goto for recording. I don't think we're playing it live, but oh really? Oh God, I can hear me. All right. Thank you, Kathy and Alan, for recording. I don't think we're live right now, correct? Oh, we are live. All right. And to Kathy for our organist, to Mrs. Kyoko Gibbs for the flowers. And the message today is doing no harm, doing some good. And today is Shotsuki Hoyo, so we'll begin with Reverend Gibbs reading the names of the people that we had lost in this month.
Thank you, Heather. Yeah, I will read the names that we have for our December Shotsuki Hoyo list. I know this takes some time, but I tell you, every time I read these names, I think of this as a person who supported this temple, who helped me to be here. When I came here 10 years ago, I only knew 2 or 3 names. I knew 2 or 3 people from before. Now I know half the people on the list. So, yeah, these people were important to us, and we will not forget them. And will then, and if you lost someone in the month of December and they're not on our list, just give me the name. We'll be happy to read it each December in perpetuity. These are the names that we so far have for our December Shotsuki Hoyo list, those who we love and who have helped us who passed in the month of December. Firstly, Arai Misao. Doi Catherine. Doi Setsuyo. Fujikawa Sono. Fujimori Eileen Kozue. Fujimoto Toshihiro. Gibbs George K. Hamada Kane. Hamada Tani. Hamada Umetaro. Hatakeyama Mary Satomi. Hatakeyama Same. Hayashi Masaki. Kaizoji Hisashi. Kaizoji Kimiko. Kawamoto Dave. Kawamoto Koichi. Kobuke Ayano. Koshigoe Towa. Kuramoto Kazue. Kuramoto Risaburo. Marumoto Hagino. Masumoto Asano. Masumoto Ichiro. Mitsuoka Mitsuru. Morioka Fumie. Morishita Magosaemon. Murakami Tsuru. Naito Mutsue. Nishimoto Masuichi. Nishimoto Reiko Irene. Nishimura Kinsuke. Nishimura Yoshitaka. Okumoto Kosaku. Okuno Fukaichi. Omokawa Tonoyo. Oshita Teru. Otani Saikichi. Ozawa Lin. Sakahara Saikichi. Sakamoto Masai. Sono Hashi. Sasaki Masano. Sasaki Sokichi. Shigeno Norumi. Shinmoto Seichiko. Sugihara Chieko. Sugita Tsuji. Sunara Akira. Takai Tokichi, Takeda Seiichiro, Takenouchi Sato, Tanigawa Kameo, Teroka Eizo, Tsukida Tsukio, Tsukida Tsugio, Umeta Shina, Umeta Tetsuo, Uemura Shizue, Watanabe Giichi, Yamanaka Chiyo, Yamanaka Masayo, Yamane Miyako, Yamasaki Keinichi, Yamasaki Masuo, Yamasaki Soyo, Yamasaki Sumito, Yamashita Ichino, Yonesawa Sokichi. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If the Sangha will please rise, I'll do the meditative reading. Among all living things, mountains and rivers, grasses and trees, even the sounds of blowing winds and rising waves, there is nothing that is not the Nembutsu. From Ibn. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We are going to move on to the Sutra Chanting, Senbutsuke, on page 33. And then after that, we will do the Texture of Life, Gatha, on page 157. So page 33.
Busatsu Daimoryo Jukyo Sanbutsuge Hogen Gigi Ijin Mugoku Yode Enmyo Muyo Tosha Nichigatmani Shuko Enyo Kaishnon-pe Yunyaku Jumoku Nyolai Yogen Shosei Murin Shongaku Daion Koru Jipo Kaimon Shojin Dammai Chie Itoku Muryo Shusho Keiu Juntai Lennen Shobuten Hokai Ujin Jinno Kugo Gaitai Mumyo Yokunu Seison Yomu Minno Shi Jintoku Muryo Kukun Kodai Shie Jinmyo Komyo Itho Shindo Daisen Ganga Sabuten Daisho Ho Kado Shoji Mihu Gedaten Uthe Joi Kainin Shojin Nyode Thammai Chie Ijo Kote Toku Buten Fugyo Shigan Isai Kuku Ithadayan Keshi Ubutn Shakusen Okuman Muryo Daisho Shunyong Oja Kuyo Ithai Shito Shobutn Funyo Gudo Kansho Hugyaku Inyong Oja Shobutn Sekai Ufu Kage Mushu Satundo Komyo Shisho Henshi Shokoku Nyose Shojin Ijin Nanryo Yoga Sabutn Kokudo Daichi Goshu Kimyo Dojo Chosetn Kokunyo Nyon Nimu Toso Gato Aimin Dodatn Isai Jippo Raisho Shinnetn Shoujo Ito Gakoku Keiraku Annom Kobutn Shinmyo Sega Shinsho Totsugan no Hi Rikisho Shoyoku Jippo Theson Shi E Muge Joryo Shison Shiga Shingyo Keiryo Shinshi Shoku Dokuchu Gagyo Shojin Ninju Ahuke Namanabu 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 Ganiya Shikudoku Yodo Sei Isai Do Modai Shin Onyo Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
So if the Sangha will please rise, we'll sing Texture of Life on page 157. And then we can remain standing for the 6 Paramitas devotional reading, which is, the page isn't there. Let's see, what is that? Oh, it'll be on page 11.
Thank you, Heather. Do your best to drown me out. This was a little high for me. Yes, thank you, Kathy, for playing, and thanks to Heather for announcing. And this is all about how to live our lives, and that's also what the 6 Paramitas are on the bottom of page 11. So I'll ask you to read along with me these commitments to wholesome living. The 6 Paramitas. Dana, giving. May I be generous and helpful. Shila, guidance. May I be guided by the Buddhist precepts. Kshanti, tolerance. May I regard the mistakes of others with sympathy. Virya, perseverance. May I do my best in all things. Dhyana, meditation. May I reflect deeply on my life through the Buddha's teachings. Prajna, insight. May I understand the meaning of Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, good morning, and thank you for being here. And here we are, too. We're here, and there you are. Here we are, and there you are. And, last week we let half the volunteer staff rest. However, the whole group is here today, so thank you for being here. And thank all of you for being here today. I will thank, specifically, if I may, Kathy Kumagai for being our organist, Alan Goto for videography and tech support. Kathy also helps with tech support. Kyoko Okura Gibbs for the flower preparation, the Naijin preparation, and keeping the Hondo clean and fresh for us. And Heather Lim for chairing the service with Panther's assistance there. Kind of tag team. This is our monthly memorial service, and it is dedicated to those whose names I read earlier, which included my father, George Carroll Gibbs. He's been gone for 30 years, my father. He was an honest and an upstanding man, and I will speak a bit this morning about being decent people. We all, or most of us at least, wish to live decent lives. We wish to be decent, upstanding people. We want to live lives that are good and meaningful and fulfilling to ourselves as well. Lives that open out to real and genuine fulfillment. But we may, on occasion, be overconfident that we are being decent, that what we're doing is okay. We had a presidential election recently. I'm not going to talk about that. But our first president was George Washington. You'll remember him from school, not that we ever met him personally. George Washington certainly meant to be a decent man, considered himself a decent man. He was considered to be an exemplary person by his contemporary North Americans, at least some of the white male North Americans, considered him to be exemplary, perfect person. But he was a slave owner. Slavery is indecent. Have things changed in history such that some things that were really were decent earlier have become vulgar and coarse? Probably so. But slavery has always been indecent. Slavery has been immoral for about 5,000 years. Decent people have not had slaves. The Egyptians did not have slaves, despite biblical references there too. They have no record of ever having a slave class. George Washington did. We want to be decent, but do we have the right principles? Sometimes you have to study, learn, ask for guidance. That was 300 years ago almost, but I think it was immoral even then to keep slaves. This has never been all right. So we can't just rely on our shared sense of what is proper. We may share a sense of what is proper that isn't proper at all. So we should seek advice from tradition, from human tradition, from Buddhist tradition. And we should think carefully about this advice and then make up our own minds. There is a list of 5 basic cautions or restraints in Buddhist tradition. I spoke about them at the Junior YBA conference yesterday, and I'll speak with you about two of them this morning, briefly. I will not be saying exactly the same thing. Precepts are things that should not be done or that should be done. Urges to do this, not do that. The classic list of 5 basic fundamental precepts Buddhists use is mostly about what we're not to do, at least on a surface reading. But the basic precept, is don't kill. Fundamental precept, don't kill, which means don't kill. There is a Judaic tradition that don't kill really meant don't murder. And murder is killing people who you shouldn't kill. But, Buddhists just look at it pretty simply. Don't kill. There isn't anybody you should kill. Don't kill. But can we do that all together? I mean, can we hold that principle fully, Really, what all the precepts are saying is don't do harm, and if possible, do good. If there is some clarity about what doing good is, do good. And by all means, stop doing harm. This is what all our precepts are trying to tell us. Yeah, although our fundamental principle is do not kill, we do have a escape clause for euthanasia. And our tradition, our records show that goes back to the Buddha himself. I rather doubt that, actually. But it goes back to the first couple centuries of our tradition. It is said that Ananda, his beloved cousin, came to the Buddha and said, the Venerable Bhikkhananda is extremely ill and is in great pain. And we've heard that he has taken his own life because of the great pain. He was terminally ill in pain, took his own life. And the Buddha is said to have responded, there is no wrongdoing in that. So we've had an escape clause all along. Euthanasia is one thing. Stopping someone's pain is one thing. I had a cat euthanized once. I'm 75 years old, and I've only had to have one animal euthanized in my life. They all wander off and die on their own somewhere. Try to save me the suffering of finding them or something, But yeah, it's a terrible thing to have to go through. But on this matter of killing, I haven't killed any human beings this morning. And I'm sure you haven't either. I trust you have not, But whose life have I enhanced this morning? Right? That's my job. Am I doing it? Whose life have you enhanced this morning? Whose lives can we enhance today? Whose path have you made more walkable this morning? Whose burden will you lighten today? Whose burden will you work to lighten today? Whose burden will I work to lighten today? Because that's what this Buddhist precept is really about, preserving and nurturing life, nurturing all of life. Is it our fault that our country is arming 2 nations to fight 3 wars right now? We're complicit. Don't deny your complicity. What should we do about it? I don't personally know. I feel complicit and bad about it, and I don't know what to do. But again, the point is to nurture life wherever and whenever and however you can. Nurture all of life. This is the key. Nurture life. Do not constrict it. Open your own life out as fully as you can. Help others to open their lives out as fully as they can. Help others to nurture, share, and enjoy life together. This is what the precept about not killing really means. The only other precept I'll look at now very briefly is don't lie, right? Don't lie. Which really means promote truth and goodness through speech. Nobody's going to give up Anne Frank to the Nazis. I don't know any Frank family. There's no one living in my attic. We're not speaking the truth. Doesn't mean saying what is precisely accurate at all times. It means nurturing life, yours and others, with truth, and avoiding falsehood whenever you can. It isn't often that the Nazis come to me and ask if there are Jewish people in my attic, so I don't have to lie too often. Promote truth and goodness through speech. So what do you do if someone makes a racist or a sexist or an anti-LGBTQ plus remark in front of you, Hopefully you will express your distaste. It's not enough just to not lie. But what are you going to do? Sometimes It's a day after day, moment after moment, you have to make these decisions. I always remember this event. It was 38 years ago. I'm on the porch saying goodbye to my friend. 2 rooms, he's got the front door cracked open. 2 rooms away, his brother-in-law made a racist remark, you know? I mean, I was just shattered. I knew this guy for 10 years. I'd never heard him say anything like that, you know? If he'd have said that in front of me, he knew I would have said something. But what am I going to do? Say, hey, Dave, I just heard something in there. Let me go in there. Let me go in that room, and then the next room. I walked away, and I had a different relationship with that guy from then on. I mean, I didn't shun him, but I knew he wasn't who I thought he was. Some things you just can't tolerate. Racism, sexism must be opposed. We must speak the truth and stand up for others when they are maligned and defamed. We must speak up for others when they are insulted with malicious words. Now, so far as stealing goes, you know, do not take that which is not given, is what the precept says. Don't take that which is not given. You know, if you're a monk or a nun, that absolutely covers it, right? Because if I'm not a monk, I'm a priest. I live a more normal life. But if I was a monk, I lived by receiving food and money. And so I don't take it if it's not given. Real simple. You put it in my hand, it's mine. You don't put it in my hand, it's not mine. I wish my life was that simple, don't you? You're working somewhere. A lot of you are still working for a living. Are you being paid a fair wage? What do you do about it? Do you have a union? What do you do about it? Do you have a good relationship with your employer? It's really complicated. Not stealing is really complicated. Giving genuine worth to others, receiving what you deserve from others, it's very hard. This is a complex world that we live in. How did the wealth get distributed the way it is now in the first place? Is our economic system decent? What can we do to make things more fair? Now this morning I am just about done, and I'm speaking about these 2 areas of our behavior, our economic practices and our verbal behavior, and even just that gets complicated. I spun off on this from reflecting on my father's passing. This is our Shotsuki Hoyo service for December, and my father died on December 15th of 1994. He endeavored to be a decent man. He did not lie. I never heard him lie in my life. But you know, in 1973, he was working for the Department of Agriculture. He was in the Soil Conservation Service, and he was aware of some malfeasance by the director of the Department of Agriculture, Earl Butts. He knew this guy had, I don't know what he knew, but it was something really, really crooked. And so the director knew he had this knowledge, and so he came to my father and said, "You retire early or I'll find a reason to fire you." So my father retired at 62. He didn't know what to do. He wasn't he grew up in a time where an American man is not a snitch, you know. We don't snitch. This guy is a crook and he's stealing money from all of us. That's not snitching, that's justice. But he didn't do that. He didn't know what to do. So he allowed himself to be pushed into an early retirement because I would have gone to the New York Times and I got a story about Earl Butts. You got some time? But my dad wasn't that kind of guy. He didn't know what to do. The point is not that I'm right and my father's wrong. The point is that it's really hard to know what to do. Even just speaking honestly and living decently and living fairly, day after day, moment after moment, we have to make choices. There's not some book, you know, you can't, page 73, the Buddha said 15% tip in this case. No, you have to decide if it's a 15% or 30% tip. No, there ain't no book that sets that for you. Day after day, we have to figure these things out. In each specific situation, what's fair, decent, honest, and true here and now. It's quite a challenge, but it can be a good thing too. These are the thoughts that I've chosen to share with you on this occasion of the December Shotsuki Hoyo, our memorial service honoring those who we've lost in the month of December, including my father, George K. Gibbs, who endeavored to speak truly and live fairly, as I do in my own way. Please continue to find your way with Buddhist guidance, but it will be your way. And along the way of making one wholesome choice after another, the most wholesome choice you can see in that situation, one moment after another, remember those who you've loved. Remember those who you do love. Some are dead and some are living. We will not forget those whose names we read today. We will not forget those we've loved. And we will move forward, and we'll do our best to speak truth and to live decently and fairly. And if we fail sometimes, we'll get up and start again. Thank you so much for listening to this Dharma message. I will close the Dharma message portion of our service with Gansho, posture of unity and respect, and ask those who wish to join me in saying the Buddha's name a few times. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Gibbs, for that Dharma message. I always appreciate the sort of recentering it gives me every week to hear the Dharma message. And I appreciate the acknowledgement of how complex it can be to go out in the world and do the right thing, because we all are trying our best. So right now I will make my second reflective reading. And actually I was a little inspired by you talking about your dad and sort of our attitudes as we go out into the world. So I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to share a quote that my grandfather every day when I was growing up gave to me. I will attribute it to him. It is probably not his. But so if the Sangha could please rise. Today is the best day of your life, and tomorrow is going to be even better. My grandpa. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I was actually really old until I appreciated what that meant. I was like, today can't be even better. It can't just infinitely get better. And then I realized it was about me and my attitude. So if anybody has any announcements, this would be the time, unless I have forgotten something. Public speaking is not my favorite thing, so. Even with a group of 6 of my closest friends, that's fine. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
It's going to be our Osebo service combined with Bodhi Day. We were kind of vague at first. We said maybe today would be Bodhi Day. So we have a preview of Bodhi Day with a small statue of Amida Buddha sitting beneath the Bodhi leaves of the tree that surrounded Shakyamuni Buddha. And next week will be our real Bodhi Day and real Osebo service. Today was our Shotsuki Hoyo.
Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to announce today is a Seeds candy pickup. If you have ordered, please go to the classroom. And I'm going to go get mochi from San Fernando Buddhist Temple. So if you have ordered mochi, it'll be ready pick up around 12:30. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marvin Inoue, and I'm a volunteer down at the Japanese American National Museum. I just wanted to let you know that the last day that the museum for the galleries will be open on January 5th for the Oshogatsu celebration, and then we will be closing for a year and a half for remodel of the whole building. So that's going to, and a new, basically the Common Ground exhibit will be changing, and there'll be a new exhibit which will be on the bottom floor. But the museum will be physically closed from 2025 through midway through 2026. Okay, thank you very much.
My turn for BWA. Let's see. Thank you everybody who ordered kamaboko and sashimi in our kamaboko and sashimi sale. We'll be distributing it at Osebo on December 15th. And if you would also like to help us out at the temple with your physical efforts. We will be here next Saturday, December 14th from 9 to noon and doing general temple cleanup and the sanctuary. If you have some favorite cleaning supplies and products, if there's something you really like to clean, bring your tools and your supplies and come on down and help us. We have a potluck afterwards, lunch, and so enjoy the camaraderie and the cleaning and the cleaning. So. I think the last thing is there's no services the 22nd and 29th. So this is next Sunday is our last Sunday service of the year, and then the last service of the year is Joye, which is the 31st, and we'll be meeting here at 6 p.m. And I think that's all I can remember. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be here next week. Osebo, Bodhi Day, pick up your food orders, and then we'll take a little break, and we'll be back on New Year's Eve, 6 p.m. And then we'll be back every Sunday at 10 a.m.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say one thing. Yesterday they had a presentation at Janum at the Democracy Center regarding, it was a front page story in the LA Times not too long ago about them, a gentleman by the name of Dan Kwong who refurbished the baseball diamond at the Manzanar concentration camp. And yesterday they talked about all the people that helped do that, help with that process and what it took. And then it also gave a little bit of the history of Japanese baseball. I don't know if you know that, since, I mean, it's been popular this year because the Dodgers acquired and we won the World Series with Shohei Ohtani. But the Japanese baseball goes back to 1871 when they first started playing it in Japan. And it was a wonderful thing. If you get a chance to see the video on it, because I know they videotaped it, please take a look at that by Dan Kwong on the restoration of the Manzanar baseball diamond. Thank you very much.
I remembered one more thing because I saw Shelley sitting out there. We have another fundraiser coming up, big one for 2025. This is our opportunity drawing ticket, and I think Shelley can explain it better than I can, but the opportunity drawing is $100 per ticket. We have a drawing once a month, and if you win, your ticket goes back into the pool so you can continue in throughout the year. The monthly drawing is for $500, and on the December drawing, there's 2 tickets are pulled for $1,000. So if you're interested in purchasing a ticket, I have some tickets. I think Shelley might have some tickets. Jerry might have some tickets. So just see us. They'll start pulling them these are tickets for 2025.
Probably our last announcement. We will be back next Sunday at 10 a.m. We hope to see you then. I'll be happy to chat with anyone after if you hang around. I don't think I have anything to do until later in the afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Please enjoy your day and please enjoy the coming new year. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life.